All right, guys. Joining me this evening, I'll be your again and slightly different camera angles. Gotta test. Uh, Mike. So sit on tight while we get the other waiting for them to get into the channel. Yep, they should be all ready to go in a second. So I hope you all had the opportunity and learn our HAC in Western class. All right, there we go. Microphone should be much better now. For whatever reason, the microphone was not boosted properly. All right. Okay, mic should be good to go. Everyone should be able to hear me, and we should have a party in here. There was definitely a lot of things to learn from the Western class, such as a lot of the things I've been saying about like Greymane, for instance, have pretty much held true that the Greymane has really fallen out of the meta. And if you don't believe me, go and check out masterleague.net, where you can actually see the latest tournament from the Western Clash. And, well, to give you some numbers for this, if we go to Assassins, Greymane was played in 9 games, and he wound up with a 44% win rate and only 23% popularity. So that kind of paints the pictures. I need to fix all of the sounds, even my own audio not coming out appropriately. Let's see. Make sure there is audio now. Might just be quiet. All right, there we go. Everything should be hopefully fine and dandy now. Now, Infernal Shrines. I'd like to see people who have picked up some cues from the Western Clash. So things like Deckard Cain is really good, like really, really good. And so you should probably think about picking up Deckard Cain. Okay, sound's still definitely not coming through. Oh, wrong one, that would be why. All right, fix the audio, fix the audio. Now, increase some viewer participation here. Now, aside from Deckard Cain, Malfurion saw a lot of play. Alexstrasza saw some play. Stukov saw some play. But if you look at it, the vast majority was really handled by 2 supports. And that's kind of disappointing overall. Largely because of the fact that, well, 2 supports being used is not very interesting to the health of the game. If we take a look at that, basically Deckard was in 88% of the matches, a Malfurion 57% popularity, and then finally Stukov 35% popularity. Loktar. So we're getting the Garage to come out, and immediately following up with a Diablo and Deckard. We'll pop on over to the draft so you can see this in action now. Now, the Vala ban I don't understand really at all, because Vala is not particularly good, especially in the current meta. I mean, to put that in perspective, Bala didn't even see play in the Western Clash. That's how bad Vala is. Your Rel ban is definitely on point though. Your Rel saw a ton of play. Although she wasn't actually super effective. However, she was, now this technically doesn't help too much, but Dig was undefeated with her, and well, a lot of teams face off against Dig and play Jarell against her. So, you walk away with Dig taking wins anyways against them. So we're going to see on the other side that Alex Straza and the Raynor ban. What's interesting is Raynor did see play, and he actually was decently popular. His win rate, however, wasn't necessarily reflecting how well he performed. For instance, Thrall was less popular, but actually outperformed Raynor. Same thing with Zeratul, outperformed Raynor. And if you look at the numbers, even Greymane had a slightly better win rate than Raynor when it was all said and done. So there's something to think about there. Even Junkrat had a 60% win rate, but very little popularity overall. So even though Jimmy Raynor might be scary, most people were very successful in defeating him. Now, on the other side, we have Blaze in the Kael'thas with Thrall and Jaina. I like the Thrall and Jaina from Embed by 10. This prevents Garage from being slowed endlessly and kind of makes up for the potential to stop Garage. Now, there is Kael'thas who can stop him from running into him. We'll see what talent he picks up at 4. If he's going to take the reduced cooldown on the gravity lapse or the extra range on the gravity lapse. And finally, we're going to get the Tychus here. Tychus can do really well against Leo. And in part, that's due to the fact that Leo, well, if he Wraith Walks, he's just standing there, and Tychus gets free stacks on him. Now, the wave clear is good enough. They have Kael'thas, Tychus. On the other side, they have Jaina, and that's pretty much all they need. They're going to have Thrall in the solo lane up against Blaze. Really not going to be too much, but they have a triple melee setup. That's another thing we're seeing, is a much, much larger emphasis on melee. And, well, it's very interesting that there's such a large emphasis on it, and at the same time, someone like Jaina isn't necessarily seeing success. In part, that makes sense because Jaina cannot really necessarily handle dive, and I like to call it the basically run over comp. If you can run over your opponent, well, it doesn't matter if you have a Jaina who's good against the melee and can kite him. She's going to be ran over regardless, especially with the Diablo who can charge into the back line. Now, the thing is, if Diablo charges too far into that back line, it's going to get really dicey, the situation for Diablo, especially if they go too aggressive very early into the game. All right, we're in this first match, so I hope you're all ready because we're going to jump on in now. All right, we got Ace Hysterio on, sorry, since they're all Ace, Hysteria on the Kael'thas. We got Thick Mane on the Tychus. Wait a minute, is this a Smurf? Because Thick Mane before White Mane came out. We got Scorps. I actually can't see who Scorps is playing on here since they're all up. G Money on the Blaze. EO on the Decker Kane, a Scorps on the Diablo, and that is going to be Accel eSports on the other side. We got M4 on the Malfurion. We got Roggle on the Thrall, Mr. Pilkington on the Garrosh, and finally we got Polystyren on the Jaina. And on top we got Rock Pasta on the Leoric. Hopefully he does not get trade value because they want to be in bed by 10. So, nothing out of the ordinary. Nice throw from Mr. Plinkington. But the thing is, for Garrosh, he just causes Diablo to just charge back. Maybe later on, once he gets the taunt, they can actually do something off that, but not quite yet. I also want to point out we got Crash Lightning here. Crash Lightning is hell of a spicy choice there. I just need to update my in-game cast real fast. Take off the cursor. I normally have it on, but taking it off. And let's blank that out. All right, so not too much happening right now. Still pretty much party going on of just rotating back and forth forever and ever. But Accel eSports are starting their camp. They are a little bit behind in XP, not really a big deal, nothing to be concerned about. Jaina, though, is of course stacking, getting her globes and clearing them waves like it's, pretty much no one else's job. And in the meantime, we also have Feast for Fear that was chosen. We have the Press the Advantage, Mana Addict, and New Habits. Actual Invade coming on out. Decker Came going to be bullied on down, and that's going to be first blood. The Invade there was very ballsy. I mean, they didn't have Thick Mane down with them, so like to try and do that. Wait a second, Scorps is still here? Scorps, what are you doing, buddy? I guess you wanted a free hearth. And yeah, that's not going to help him too much there. The good news is Diablo definitely did not have enough souls. He's only at 32. Taking a look at where we're at, we got 3, 8, 3, 5, 4, and 5. So the Crash Lightning is a very odd choice, especially on Infernal Shrines. The reason it's an odd choice is because there's lots of things to actually interrupt your Crash Lightning from landing on a hero. Really nice positioning from Mr. Pilkington right there. Able to see the rotation, but they know where everyone is. Oh, toss on in! Say goodbye to Kael'thas! Walks a little too far, plays with a little too much fire, and he got burnt real bad. Very nice root coming on out, and a ton of damage onto Accel eSports. The overpower, though, the Indomitable will be used technically a little bit late there, as there's nothing to avoid there. Nice double Q, a toss on back onto G-Money, but Mr. Pilkington is going to be going down. Overstep there, being a little too aggressive, but Broggle coming on out with that lightning, able to secure another kill for Embed by 10. Now this shrine is 100% an Embed by 10s, unless they do something crazy. Polysteer in, taking a lot of damage, but Rock Pasta there, and Thick Mane is about to be a little less thick. I mean, he will lose body weight as he decomposes, but he'll be back shortly in 10 more seconds. Now, Embed by 10, definitely getting the upper hand in most of these engagements and in general. Nice combo coming out for Garrosh. The root is in place. Diablo locked underneath that blizzard, and it's a bit chilly for the Lord of Hell, and so he will go down. Embed by 10 is already running away with this game. I mean, we're looking at a 7-6, which will be soon an 8-7 advantage, with a fort down in the bot lane. And well, I mean, Garrosh is now at 10 stacks, so he's doing that additional damage. 11 stacks on the Crash Lightning already, 7 on the Fingers of Frost, 6, 11, and 9 respectively. And we also had in the Rhythm sitting at 32 stacks. On the top lane, Rock Pasta just doing his job and rocking out, killing some minions. In the meantime, a lot of damage coming on out. Kael'thas dropping the bombs as that just takes down Jaina. Melts through her ice, and she'll have to come back in 10 more. So a little too aggressive on the side of Embed by 10, thinking that they can go and do what they please, but they had no advantage there. They have no heroic advantage. They had no talent advantage. So it was a very ballsy call that, well, they reaped what they sowed, which was a loss of Jaina. So nice rotation as a team coming on down to get this Merc camp. It won't do too much as the Mercs in this particular game are particularly weak. So nonetheless, they will come on out ahead with that Merc camp. The wave will be cleared on up, and they'll just have to settle for waiting for their next wave alongside of with their pretty small, pathetic two-man archer army. In the top lane, things are going in G Money's favor right now. Rock Pasta just trying to drain, not going to be able to successfully drain that life. And taking a look, we have the Consumed Vitality, the Neil Peasants, and the Willing Vessel. On the other side, we also have Chandel's Clarity, the Vengeful Roots, Wild Growth. We have the normal Q builds coming on out. Oh, Scorp's very far out. Garrosh is looking for the toss on back. They do have the Unstoppable and the taunt, and that is one dead Diablo. Scorp's not even knowing what hit him, just like a truck running into Diablo's face. Garrosh is just too brutal for him to deal with at this point. Additionally, he has now lost all his souls. This is insanely great for Embed by 10 because this is going to speed it up, and maybe they can get themselves a nightcap with some whiskey or bourbon to help them go to bed. So we do have the Netherwind that was picked up here. I do think the other talent at 4 would have been better here, especially with 3 melee who can run at your face. Getting the reduced cooldown basically means you have it up nearly all the time. So this is going to be a critical fight, because if they go for this and they lose this, well, obviously Diablo has nearly no souls. He's at 20 souls right now. If they lose this, it's going to snowball very hard. Oh, the Garrosh going on in the Entomb, not doing anything. The APOC has come on out. Phoenix as well. Garrosh getting a huge taunt, but no one's there to help him. The Ring of Frost coming on out. Thickman getting chewed through by the Blizzard. And the Twilight Dream on the front line has silenced them. And they are now holding their cooldowns and ready to go to try and blow up a Rock Pasta. So the engage there was very sloppy from Embed by 10. Jaina was nowhere nearby. Garrosh was dead before the Ring of Frost was dropped. And Garrosh stayed, thinking that he can survive 4 members. Really what needed to happen was M4 comes in with that Twilight Dream, hits him in the face. Garrosh gets that taunt follow-up. And all of a sudden, Garrosh is perfectly fine. Post-taunt or pre-taunt. Nice throw on back. Scorps having no souls is getting melted here. Rock Pasta keeping the attention of Accel eSports, and he'll be just perfectly fine. So their window of opportunity here really slipped because they just basically walked on back and weren't really able to capture enough of the skeletons while they had 2 members down on the side of Embed by 10. So Embed by 10, well, they're going to be hitting level 13, which means a talent tier, and they will be getting themselves Punisher very, very shortly here. Now, one thing I want to note is that G Money is doing the right thing here. They know they're going to lose the Punisher. He needs to go soaking those lanes, get them the XP, and try and keep up in the game. In fact, I'd say get it over, play very cautiously, and if they fully engage, just back off. You have stay a while and listen. You have tools to help and disengage from the situation, and it's only a fort. In the meantime, however, we do have Rock Pasta and Jaina going and soaking. Jaina will be rotating on back up, but I think this is going to be for nothing. Like, the Punisher is pretty much dead. Jaina would have been better off just sitting in mid, pushing in, and trying to get some damage onto the structures. So, like I said, Jaina rotates up, really accomplishes nothing, could have stayed in mid, and actually got in a tower in the meantime. So this is one of those things that differentiates good teams, bad teams, and great teams. Bad teams will basically never rotate and do things appropriately. They'll take forever to rotate, and once they do rotate, they will have lost any potential to do anything with that time. Good teams will figure out what to do, but not optimally. Ring of Frost coming out though, the APOC in tow. It will hit 4 members, chewing up the rock pasta, and he's been a tasty meal. And the stale while listen will keep Ruggle there for a little bit. He's trying to trade onto G-Money. Mr. Pilkington getting a huge Q, but it's not going to be enough as they are absolutely obliterated. Ruggle not going to be long for this world as he has literally nowhere to retreat to. So let's take a look at that again. Wow. Wow. That was insane. So if the replay will show up. Let's see if the replay will show up. There we go. Absolutely huge APOC coming on out. The bunker there in tow. The stay a while and listen. This was so money, this team fight. In bed by 10, making a critical mistake once again, which was thinking that they could do whatever they wanted. And, well, you don't have the advantage to do whatever you want, guys. You gotta lay off the gas every once in a while because this is not a freight train coming through. So in the meantime, a shaman camps will be picked up. 16 is coming here by Accel eSports, and things are turning from great for Embed by 10 to only okay for Embed by 10. They do have a structure advantage, but they're down a level in talent. So what Accel eSports should be doing right now is rotating up, forcing with their shaman, and using that 16 talent advantage. However, they take the shaman camp, lose any pressure they have, and give Embed by 10 the superior push advantage. Those will get them 16. We have a Rock Pasta playing a ward right now and checking out the bush, and 16s are picked up. Accel kind of blew it there. They had the opportunity to make some big plays, really throw the game even further into their kind of, I guess, XP advantage, level advantage. A Rock Pasta going to be stunned at the wall. A ton of damage. Stay a while. Listen, not going to come out in time. Will be interrupted, but Rock Pasta is down for the count. So that will be first blood going over to Accel eSports. Now, this fight is far from being done. They are not actually committing here. I'm not quite sure what's going on for Accel eSports. They're neither pushing lanes or committing to it with a 10-second advantage against, well, over a 10-second advantage against Embed by 10. And they're actually down a little bit right now. Okay, they're pretty even now on the side of the skeleton count, so starting to get their edge. But we have Rock Pasta up in action. Garage looking for it, coming on onto Tychus. Thick Mane has been taunted out. Stale Ball and Listen coming on out. Rock Pasta will be going down, but Thick Mane is down. The Ring of Frost being used a little too unnecessarily there, I think, as they could have probably secured it without. So it's a 1-for-1 right now. And APOC coming on out, locked on down thanks to the scroll, and that is a 2-for-1 trade up. And they're looking for another. Garage has nowhere to run, will have to kite on back, and he does get the Q, does get the shield, and oh, big stun from Scorps, but it will not be enough, and they'll have to accept 2-for-1. So they will be able to tap back. They have a Leo back in action, but they will not have Thrall, and that means this is a Punisher for Accel eSports. So a critical mistake there was Polystyren used the Ring of Frost just for the Tychus. I'm almost certain they would have secured that kill without the Ring of Frost, which then means they lost a valuable tool for the team fight. However, they only get the front wall on a 15-minute Punisher. This is actually fairly bad for Accel eSports. that whatever advantage they have, they're not able to convert it into an actual advantage. And what I mean by that is that they are getting kills, but not doing anything with those kills. They're pretty much just walking away. Like they walked away from a Punisher on a fort that was open and instead take a tower and are pressuring. But this is a 4v4 right now, and they're not going to pressure this anymore. So really they got towers and no fort, which is a nice one coming from Scorps the Indomitable, but the bomb is going to spread onto Jaina, and they will have to back on out. Not having a lot of room to maneuver there. Mr. Pilkington would have pretty much either got slept, which he did for a brief second there, or spread the bomb, which he also did there. But that cooldown will be available for the next team fight. I'm fairly certain. 19 tier 20 is coming up very closely for Accel eSports. So the 20 situation really needs to be where they actually accomplish something with their advantage instead of essentially kind of sitting on their hands. This is a classic mistake that you'll see in lower divisions. They get advantages but never convert their advantage into anything meaningful. And it's actually unfortunate because in Bed by 10, who had been ahead in the early game and a little bit of the mid game, continue to actually get good value out of their decisions, even though they're losing team fights. But at this point, I don't know if just being able to trade up will help on the side of in Bed by 10, because 20s are right around the corner, and with the 20 advantage, this is going to be pretty brutal for Embed by 10 to deal with. So 20s are here. What you're going to notice is that probably Ace is going to go and rotate away from this Shaman camp. Here's the thing though. They're 20. Go and push S5. There's nothing to be scared about. There's 20 seconds. And if they start the shrine in 20 seconds, that's not a big deal. You rotate down right before the shrine starts. And you can see how little value that Shaman camp got. In fact, it got 0 value. So at this point, Embed by the 10 has to choose one of two things. Do they fight against a 20? If they do, this is going to be a very hard and a very hard uphill battle. Or do they give this up, which is going to be a 19-minute Punisher? The good news is they have a fort here. They can manage to give up this and still survive. I think that is definitely the call to make, and they're starting to get as much XP as they can before the Punisher comes out. They will hit 20, and once again, Accel eSports doesn't press their advantage in any meaningful way here. They are going to get the Punisher, but they're not going to get any 20 versus 19 situation, which is very unfortunate for them. In the meantime, Rock Pasta and crew are picking up the siege camp, which is actually impressive and hella ballsy. So I like that they're holding here though. They know that there's literally no way to lose this unless they all get wiped. So why not pick up extra? And this is the only way for them to lose it, if they force the fight and all go down swinging. So for 20s, we did get Lord of Terror coming on out. We have a sizzling attacks. And I want to point out, we also had the laser drill picked up. Laser drill is usually not the pick. I'd say it's definitely not the pick against 3 melee. The slow onto Scorps. There comes the APOC in the Entomb, the silence, but they're not able to do anything during the APOC. The Ring of Frost coming on out, and it's not going to matter, but they do get the Diablo, and they are still running. The Stale a While and Listen will help Thickman get peeled on out, and a 2 for nothing in favor of Accel eSports. At this point, Punisher is going to be marching on down. A nice stun come from G-Money, and he is trying to finish on off Roggle, but it will be for naught as they will have to retreat on back and just accept their 2-man advantage. So this is really big. They have 2-man advantage. They're going to pick up the mid fort, and then they're going to go bottom. But I think they should have just gone bottom. Honestly, they could pick that up on the retreat, that mid fort, at any point. So 1 tower down. 1 more to go. I don't know if they'll be able to get the keep, though, at this point. Heroics are not available, the big ones of APOC and Stay a While and Listen. But they can start getting a keep damage. The laser is down. It's starting to do some work. And that sizzling attacks on Tychus as well. Down they go onto the booty of Roggle. But Roggle's able to make it out of that maze of roots just in time. And Ace, or EO, is taking a lie down. The big Sunder in the toss on back. And the taunt on top of that. And only Decker Kane, the APOC, coming out in tow. And Jaina's getting booty banged, but into the fray, saving the day. Roggle, however, will be going down. And once again, a 2-0 in favor of Accel eSports. Accel eSports looking to end it and close it out here. Jaina is still here. There are no heroics available. So this is a very ambitious call, especially without Punisher. A nice Q coming out for Pilkington. Thick Mane is being focused on out. The silence onto 4 members. And Polystyrian trying his best to poke them on out in the meantime. Pilkington will be going on down here. But this might be good enough. The root into that blizzard. And they have taken tons and tons of damage. So Jaina is still up. They have started nuking the core, and it is down to 90%. A beautiful silence coming out from Rock Pasta, and they are on top of this. The blizzard, and they have just traded out 2 for 1 in that. But at the same time, they are still down another 2 members. They might be going to get G-Money, but it's probably unlikely. A very nice core defense, 91%. They take down 2 members. They have 2 members down themselves and won't be able to really do much out of this. So overall, I'd say Accel's esports call was the wrong call to make. However, they traded in such a way that it didn't matter. They got themselves kills, which is how you end the game, but they also lost people. But the thing is, they still traded enough kills that the death timers are literally going to be about 10 seconds, and you're not going to accomplish anything meaningful in 10 seconds with your team. So at this point, it will almost certainly come down to the next Punisher, as the team fight will be very brutal. And on top of that, that Punisher is going to be very beefy. It's going to be about a 25-minute Punisher or so. And so, there we go. This is almost certainly the last fight of the game. If multiple members on Embed by 10 go down, this Punisher should be enough to walk to the core, regardless of the fact that there's a fort there. There are no towers at this point. And Shaman Camp is now going to be pushing on in with a wave, which they'll have to deal with before they can actually commit to the shrine. Now, they're going to start things off here. They will start working on the Shaman Camp, and I do want to show 29 out of 30. All he needs is 1 more stack on Thrall, and all of a sudden, all it will do is poke him to death. There's Indomitable coming out. Garage looking for. He's not going to get. The bomb is on him. He's going to try and spread. Stay a while and listen. Coming on out. The APOC is only going to hit 2 members that are readily available. But the Twilight Dream, the damage onto EO and G-Money next up in queue. But Garage will be falling in tow. Rock Pasta coming up next. A beautiful turn by Scorps, squishing Thrall against that wall like the bug he is. And that'll be a 3 for 3 as they have that laser still available. And Scorps once again going on in, smashing that booty against the wall, and Jaina will be down for the count. Let's take a look at that again. And that will, there we go. We have the Ring of Frost, the Entomb coming out on the backside for Rock Pasta. The very early kill on EO. But the Scorps is making plays here, and in bed by 10 are going down like a bag of bricks here, just falling and tumbling one by one. At that point, they really should have just backed up and called it a day. So at this point, core defense, 90% shields down, and they're still holding until all 5 members are up. At this point, they should be ready to go, and this is one hell of a long game. So the reason games like this sometimes go long, it's like I said, unoptimized decision making. And we saw that earlier for Accel eSports. Their team fighting is working out really well for them at this state of the game, but their decision making for the early and mid parts and even late parts of the game weren't extraordinary. But this Punisher is very, very likely to end the game if they play their cards right. They need to just get through the wall, get ready to bang some cheeks with that APOC stale ball and listen combo and or scroll of identity. Now, wall is down. They did not get this Punisher to jump over. This is a critical mistake for it in bed by 10, as it's going to alley-oop onto someone's face. And there they go. No APOC follow-up. That's another critical mistake. Stale ball and listen is coming on out. The APOC is ready to go, but a nice silence from Rock possible keep him from going in. The 4-man Ring of Frost landing on top of them. The toss onto Diablo not going to do much, and the Sunder follow-up as they get knocked into the keep. Thick Mane will be going down. No, he's still up, and Thrall will be the one going down instead. Rock Pasta down for the count now, and they are going to try and close this game out for good this time around. Core is falling 60% in. This is going to be GG, as there is no way they can stop the onslaught of Accel eSports. So game 1 has gone over to Accel, so stick around for game number 2. Before we go though, we're going to take a quick look at the stats. Thrall 97k damage, Crash Lightning do an insane amount of work. 94k from Jaina, 81k from the Tychus, 76k from Kael'thas, Malfurion with the 45k damage, DPS baby. But the healing output, not enough to deal with the APOC stale while listen combo. They just blew someone up before Malfurion can even deal with it. And you can see it, 60k healing. That's almost twice as much healing. That's absolutely brutal. Alright guys, stick around for game number 2. We're going to go over to the replays, and so yeah, lots of good things to watch there. The advantage